Hello, folks. Josh Berkeley here today, and I want to take a little time to talk with you about special needs trust. If it's not something you've heard of, I want to just discuss with you a little bit about what a special needs trust is. It's also sometimes called a supplemental needs trust. Both names do the same thing, they're the same type of document. We want to talk a little bit about what those are, how they get funded, and really who might need them. Okay, so what type of individuals could benefit from creating a special needs trust? And we've got two parties here we want to think about. And the first one is the person creating the trust, and the other person is, of course, the one benefiting from what's in the trust. And that would be your supplemental needs or your special needs person. So this is just kind of a quick overview of planning for someone that is special needs. So first, there's a couple main types of special needs trust that you should be aware of. One is a third-party funded special needs trust, and the other one is a first-party special needs trust. Now, before we get into exactly what those are, we need to also discuss what exactly is special needs, or sometimes these are called supplemental needs trust. So someone who has special needs or supplemental needs, generally what we're talking about is someone who is on some sort of government benefits program. Think SSI or perhaps Medicaid. Okay. In many instances, these programs are asset contingent, income contingent, or both, meaning a person can only have so many assets or so much income before they are disqualified from these programs. Now, the kind of things that happen, and there's a lot of different ways this can come up, but in many instances, what we'll see is someone has passed away. They maybe have a child or a grandchild that is a special needs or supplemental needs person that's getting some of these government benefits. They don't want to knock them. No one wants to knock those people off of the benefits that they've worked to qualify for. But if we don't do something, sometimes a big inheritance will do just that. Okay, so say the parents died, leaving a special needs child. If that money goes to them in a big lump, they're going to very possibly lose their SSI or their Medicaid benefits. So in order to prevent this, what parents can do, or grandparents, or whoever in the family, but often it's parents or grandparents, they can establish a third-party special needs trust. It's third party because it's not the person receiving the government benefits that is creating the trust. Okay. The big thing to remember about the third-party special needs trust, and one of their huge benefits, is when you do a third-party special needs trust, when the special needs person on whose behalf this trust was created for passes away, the person creating the trust, so perhaps mom, dad, grandparents, those people can say, okay, after my child who has special needs passes away, I then want the rest of the money in this trust to go to my other grandchildren, children, a charity, any of the above, right? That's very different than a first-party special needs trust, which is, say mom and dad didn't do any planning, they pass away, leaving a large inheritance to a special needs individual that's getting these special benefits. If that happens, that person who has special needs, they or perhaps a power of attorney or guardian on their behalf can create a first-party special needs trust. That's good, but when you do that, that money is there to be used for the beneficiary throughout that special needs person's life, but when they pass away, the money in that trust, up to the amount they have received in government benefits, that amount goes to the government. In many instances, it may be the entire remaining corpus of the trust will all go to reimburse the government for the benefits that they've paid out. Okay. In either event, whether it's first-party special needs trust or a third-party special needs trust, you have the benefit of during the person's lifetime, the special needs person's lifetime, they're going to be able to have a trustee pay for extra things for them above and beyond their government benefits, right? So they're going to be able to have some nicer things in life, clothes, they can even be taken out on trips, all sorts of things like that the government benefits wouldn't pay for, okay? But that special needs trust money is going to be there to pay for that, and the special needs trust is going to say in particular that it is not to supplant or to replace the government benefits. Those benefits are supposed to be there for that person. They are to stay there for that person. And this trust is created, the special needs trust is created to make sure that The government benefits keep providing for the basics, and then the trust funds give that person the extras in life that their parents or grandparents or whoever would want them to have. So that's the significance of special needs trust and the big difference between first party and third party special needs trust. In the event that you have any questions or want to know any more about special needs trust, please feel free to give us a call. We'd always be happy to talk to you. Thank you.